friends, how are you today? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is just gonna be a regular old get ready with me video. I'm just getting ready for a very normal day. We don't have any particular plans on the schedule. Belle's got a day off from her choreography cheer practices. Oh, that first sip of coffee feeling. From what I hear, it's going to be an extremely hot Friday here where I live, so probably going to get in the pool at some point. But meanwhile, this morning, I'm just going to do my makeup, and I thought, yeah, let's chat. So here we go. I've got my Catrice primer. This is the Aqua Splash Grip Primer, hydrating. Yes, I am still planning to do my 80s soap opera makeup inspired by Hope at Beau and Hope's wedding. I just need to consider my hair for that and a few other things. I'm just not quite ready to make that happen yet, but I'm going to. Speaking of Days of Our Lives, is anybody else watching right now? Who shot EJ? I don't know if I've mentioned on this before, but all throughout my childhood, I watched All My Children with Mom and Pup. All My Children and also One Life to Live. I think One Life to Live came on after All My Children. My mom watched everything, like Guiding Light and As the World Turns, those oldest ones from when they started, and they're not even on anymore. But as for Pup and I, mainly, we watched All My Children. Erica Kane, Adam and Stewart, you know, it's probably part of why soaps feel kind of comforting to me now because they were on in my home growing up. Here's the foundation I'm going to use today. I'm going to go with some good old L'Oreal True Match because also this shade, you know, it's just a little bit darker. It's in 4 neutral light medium. I've done a really good job of keeping a ton of SPF on my face anytime I go swimming, and while my freckles are kind of popping out, I definitely haven't burned, and that's been good. But I've gotten a little more color in my skin just a bit, so I'm going to get a full pump's worth of that and take it all over. We've just been having a really good summer. I feel like I've not been as connected to social media, you know, like posting a bunch of things on my Instagram story or something like that. I just feel like with everything I do, I'm being a little bit more in the moment and not so much documenting the moment. And I think that's kind of a good thing. Like when we were having 4th of July, I did take some pictures, but I wasn't falling all over myself to post them. I was just like enjoying what was going on. And I don't know, I like sharing things, quick little things on Instagram, but I just haven't felt as drawn to it lately. And I was talking about in another video, you know, I'm giving my kids a 90s summer. We're having a good amount of unplugged time, fun outside, bikes and swimming and library, and just those fun, simple things. When we get rained out, we're popping open the coloring table and doing some coloring. Friday nights, pizza and a movie. I love it. But there's that foundation all blended in. True Match just really is, especially blended out with a sponge, just a really natural looking foundation. I'm getting coverage, but I am seeing straight through to my freckles. It just seems pretty sneaky, like it's evened me out overall, but it's pretty light. Now, do I stay with L'Oreal or move on to a different type of product? I haven't really labeled this a Shop My Stash video, but this is like makeup when I'm not doing makeup for a video. I'm just using whatever, you know? I bounce around a ton. I'm gonna use my Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer in Cream Puff. I love this concealer. This is great coverage. This is also a good touching up concealer. It's not heavy on your skin, but it covers super well. And I feel like spreading that first. I'm just gonna grab any, you know, smallish concealer brush. This is a 57 from Sephora. See, just make it take up some space. Why is concealer so fun? It's just satisfying. But I think we could all stand to be a little more present, be a little more locked into the present place we are, the people we're with. And really, the more present I am, the more thoughtful I am also about being in prayer at times. If I'm a little bit worried about something, I've got whatever concern going in the back of my mind. When I'm living life a little less tied to being on a screen, I'm just more willing to take things to God in prayer. Maybe I'm just thinking about somebody, and I don't know why that particular person popped into my head, but I start thinking about them, and then I'll just pray for them. And if I'm constantly looking at a screen, or I've got content just kind of coming in at all times, just sort of taking me away or telling me what to think in the moment, it can pull you out of those natural things you would have and maybe should have done, you know? I don't know if I'm making any sense. But I did just blend in that concealer, and it was fun, and it was satisfying. Just had to wipe my nose, and now I gotta go over that. But you know what else is satisfying? Gosh, you're getting real just stream of consciousness here today, aren't you? Cleaning my pool. The pool water is sparkling. Spotless. I take so much satisfaction in having that water as crisp and clear, and you can see top to bottom, you can see deep end to shallow end. Like, I want that water just crisp and clear. You can see every detail on the bottom of that liner. You know, no offense to hotel pools, but there are no hotel pool vibes. Like, I want really, really clean water. And also I like to keep the leaves and the grass and just things that like to accumulate just from nature. I like to get that stuff out of the pool too. And when we moved into this house, there was a vacuum, and I remember the previous owners were like coaching us on the pool, and they named him Oscar, and we kept the name Oscar for the vacuum too. You know, they're like, here's how you turn on Oscar. And he was like a vacuum that would run around the bottom of the pool, but it was attached to something. And Oscar kind of got old and stopped working so well. And last season when we replaced our pool liner, we just kind of stopped using Oscar, and I got this handheld, comes with a long pole, and you know, it can reach down and just that kind of spot clean any leaves, dirt or grit or anything that just accumulates on the bottom of the pool. And I take great joy in keeping that pool clean. I was thinking the other day, like, I wish I could be as diligent around my own home as I am in that pool. I'm gonna use some of this light pink powder from Wet n Wild, but I just love it. I maybe it's just because it does feel manageable to me. Like, oh, okay, we got about 5 leaves over there in the northwest corner. Let's take them out. But Bub did get something on Prime Day. He got a cordless pool vacuum that's gonna rove around the bottom of the pool and like go up the sides. You can turn it on timers. You can have different modes you put it on. But I think that'll be nice, so I don't have to get in every time I want to clean something up at the bottom. There's this post that really sticks with me. It's like, it sure takes a lot of work to keep my home like an average level of clean and keep people fed day to day, have mostly clean laundry, like just something like that. Props to those who are really staying on top of it. Mama ain't easy. And sometimes I'm just living life, and by the way, that was me kind of like blending the powder a little bit more. I'm kind of not sure that I even need any more powder across my skin. Hi, Bisky. So like, I take what else is still on the brush and just let it dab all over and set somewhat. But sometimes I think back to being a kid, and I had, you know, a much older brother and sister. When I was born, I guess Pup was in high school and Feep was in junior high. Feep is Ryan, Pup is Kelly. So my mom like didn't have 3 little kids of similar age running around and causing chaos at the same time. And sometimes I just think back at how like clean everything was and how Mom had it all together, it seemed like, all the time. And my mom just is a very together type of person. I'm sure she's watching this. Hi, Mom. My mom was taking care of me, keeping everything clean, running a full garden, clothes on the line, cooking everything, sewing stuff, altering stuff, the whole 9 yards. And then sometimes I remind myself, well, you got 3 little ones all at the same time and you're doing this. So I try to give myself a little grace with that, but Mom's awesome. Ooh, I know what bronzer I want to use. Been loving this Catrice Melted Sun. This is good, really good tone. Beach Babe. How about that full moon last night? Man, it was super clear too. So I like look out the window, I'm like, whoa, it's the moon. Hello, moon. Sometimes I don't really, you got to get your brush into it just a little bit because, you know, it's a cream. Got to really swipe it intentionally onto your brush. So now I've just got it generally on there, and now I'm going to blend. Sephora 56. Saw somebody doing a roundup of the most essential Sephora brand brushes. They did not mention the 56. And I thought, excuse me? But I said nothing and moved on with my life. Okay, great story, Em. Anybody out there eat a lot of snow cones? I have a snow cone maker. I need to get into using it more. But I mean, like, if you're going out and about and maybe there's like vendors or you're at a fair or something, what prompts you to want to get a snow cone over like an ice cream? I feel like when I was growing up, they did snow cones at the pool. You could get a little cone, snow cone, and I just felt like I was always just eating a bunch of ice. Maybe I haven't had a really good snow cone. Like, aren't there little stands called Tropical Snow? I think there's one somewhere around me. Like, are those really deluxe? Are they putting other stuff in it? Also, you know how we talk a lot about here in the Midwest, you know, we're loaded with Dollar Generals and Casey's. But what about Huck's? Let's talk about Huck's for a minute, because we've got a Huck's very, very close to us. And the food game at Huck's is 2 thumbs up. They're doing Godfather's Pizza. So who remembers like growing up and going to Godfather's restaurants, right? They did like pizza buffets. There was still one here in Southern Illinois in Carbondale when we very first moved. Heck, I remember my first date with Bub. Actually, I was in a group going to a homecoming dance. Bub drove. I wasn't going with Bub at the time. I went with somebody else, but it was somebody else in the friend group, and Bub drove us all because his family had this huge van. But anyways, Godfathers. Why am I talking about Godfathers? Because of Huck's. Huck's gas stations are selling Godfather's pizza, and it's really good, guys. It's a very good pizza. When you ask for toppings, like, they really top it up. They sauce it up. Domino's, you don't know if you're gonna be on a day where they wanna give sauce or not. Like, half the time if I'm ordering Domino's, I'm saying extra sauce just to be on the safe side. How about a little MAC up in here? A little MAC Warm Soul. Anyone? Anyone? Mineralized blush. Hope I blended my bronzer enough. I think I did. One of those blushes that looks like nothing but does do something. Anyway, the Huck's pizza is wonderful. And it's the type of thing, like, you can order it, you know? You can place an order, you can DoorDash it to your house, or, you know, you might just go in there and they've got some pizza ready. But I feel like it's really, really good. Like, the standard thickness of crust, I really like it. It's not too thick, not too thin. Like I said, right amount of sauce, right amount of cheese, no skimping on toppings. I'm all about it. And they do the dessert pizzas too, like the streusel, cinnamon streusel stuff. But I told Bub a couple of weeks ago, and then he gave me one of those looks that says, I'm judging you right now for what you've just said, but I said, I think I might like the pizza at Huck's better than the pizza from Casey's. Yep, I said it. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? That's what this does. That does that. It's so soft. It does have a little sheen. Not every skin tone could get a lot out of it. Like, don't be much darker than me, because you just might not be satisfied with what it shows. But light to medium skin tones, it really does show up. I really got some things to say today, apparently. This is Infallible highlighter in Icy Gold, the one that does not look gold at all, just in the pan, but as it catches light, it does have a goldeny hue. A little bit on there. This isn't my favorite highlighter, but I do kind of like it with a warm look, because as this shears out, you can kind of see that light goldeny thing you're supposed to be seeing. I don't know if it was the moon or what, but it did take me a long time to fall asleep last night, and it almost never does. Biddy, shut the door, honey. We're trying to tiptoe around because Nookie had late practice last night, so I said, Biddy, don't wake her up in the morning, right, Beth? Love you.
Did you turn the alarm off?
I did turn the alarm off. You look like you need a back scratch.
Do I go down without her?
Yeah, you can go down there and read or whatever.
It isn't happening.
I know, you are up exceptionally early. I'm starting to realize that's just how you roll, Biddy. Okay, maybe you can weigh in on something, Biddy. I was just talking to the folks watching about pizza at Huck's. Don't you think they do a really good pizza?
Yeah.
You like the Huck's pizza? What about the dessert pizza?
I like it.
Do you love it? Are you obsessed with it? She also likes the brownie you can get at Domino's. Anything else you want to talk about here, Biddy? Just want to go read your book and sniff your bunny? The smells of our special stuffies. Bisky wants pets, though. I'm going to take some of this Essence Fix and Last 18-hour setting spray. I think it really works well. I'm pretty convinced on this one. 6 mists if I'm doing it right. What exactly are you doing over there at my desk calendar area? Benefit for brows. What is it about a desk calendar? I like to see everything. I'm really not wanting all that info to just live in my phone. Here's the silly thing I will do. When I've fully gotten the desk calendar filled out with all the events of the month, then I take a picture of it. So if somebody's like, we got something going on this day, blah, 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 blah. I pull up my desk calendar when I'm not up here on my phone, the picture of it, and I see what's going on. I never said I wasn't a little bit strange. I'm just filling in my brows with the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in 4. Feel like I'm going to use this one up pretty soon.
Bye, guys.
See ya, hun. You know what was a fun new experience for me this, I guess, spring and early summer? T-ball. T-ball was fun. Rhett's first time doing that, and Bub coached. It's such a casual, cute little thing. Like, the kids have to be reminded, like, stomp on home plate. They need to be reminded, drop the bat and run. I like that it seems like most of the parents are just having fun with it too. You know, nobody's that serious. There'll be this little bitty tiniest kid come up to the plate and you hear his grandpa shout out, "Over the fence!" And everybody kind of giggles. You know, it's just fun. This is the Precisely My Brow Wax. So it's tinted. It's not like super serious. It holds decently well. It's really just an okay product, you know, like I'm not ever using this because I'm so in love. I'm just kind of using it because it works and I'm just working through it. It's okay to have some products like that. I'm going to take a little Wet n Wild Mega Last Eye Primer. Woke up this morning to a phone that was not charged at all. Came to realize the charging cord was out of the element that actually gives it power, so yep, you'll have that. There we are with that eye primer on. You can see how this eye primer gives a little more coverage to the lids than Milani does. I still like Milani, but this is doing that if that's something you want. I don't know what I want to do eyeshadow wise today. I decided I feel like using a duo. This is Clinique Day Into Date. Don't you love how on the back of Clinique's shadows you can actually see what's in there? Day Into Date. So this shade is kind of sandy. It's got a little bit of a glow to it. And then this other color, I've always thought of this as kind of a plummy brown. I don't know why it always occurs to me that way. Sometimes when the two of these shades interact, I see just maybe a little plumminess come out of it. There's not a ton though. It's a nice, like, rich, deep shade. The way I'm going to start this look is with my Morphe M303, because you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, there's not a distinct, like, started out in the crease color. You got light, you got dark. Where do you go with a duo that's just light and dark? I would start with the dark shade, tap off the excess there, and just begin patting that on my outer corner. And once that intensity starts to work up into the crease, then we come in with a crease brush and just kind of soften it all out. That's what I'd do if I just have two colors and one's light and one's dark. And then you know where the lightness is going. It's going to go on brow bone, it's going to go on inner half of the lid. This is what it's looking like because it's not blended yet. It's just being placed. Okay, crease brush, not adding anything to it, just gonna go over that darkness now and kind of lead anything that's been applied to the crease, just kind of blend it across. You can add more shadow if you want to, but you see what's starting to happen there? This shadow was not even really intentionally put in the crease. It was put on the outer lid, and what was on the tip of the brush got to the crease. That's the fun thing about the M303. If you haven't picked that up yet, I'm really happy with it, and it's definitely a one-of-a-kind brush for me because it is flat enough to pack on. And then you get the M302 for a little bit smaller space. Softening. Kind of tempted to maybe just add a speck more shadow going straight in. So I'm not picking shadow up off the side, I'm picking it up off the top of this brush because, you know, I'm wanting it in a certain area. You gotta be mindful of where the product is picking up on the eyeshadow brush. Nobody talks about that. So a little bit more for this side as well, just right in the outer corner. Why is it so relaxing to blend an eye? Digging that now. We're dusting away any excess, and I'm gonna just go to this shade. Get a little bit of that on, work it over the edge of where you just blended, and it's going to be your softener. Pretty, kind of hazy. Now we can just come in with that lighter shade on the inner lid. I mentioned the M302, so here's that size difference. They're both just a little thicker than completely flat, but you look at them sideways, you can see it's shorter left to right. And with that brush, I will dab into this shade. And pat it on. Good. See, it's just got a little sheen, just a smidge away from being matte, but it looks so smooth there on the eye. Like that. And I want to see some of the darkness on the lower lash line too. For that, we'll take Profusion Small Pointed, straight in, straight off the tip, because we want that product going where we want it to go. Stay in control of your look, put the product on the right part of the brush, and you won't have like it coming off the side with fallout. And just smudging it along. I do not feel like messing at all with eyeliner today, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna use my Paradise Big Deal on the upper lashes and e.l.f. Lash Extender on the lower lashes. We're just gonna really let the lashes be the star on that, because I think the length sometimes shows more when you don't even put any liner in with the look. I love when you look outside and it's a quiet morning and the only thing going on that you can really take note of are the animals. We are so lucky we have a backyard that is really pretty wooded. Like, we're in town, but we've got this tree line in our backyard, and I see deer about every morning. Sometimes they're lounging at the top of the hill. Sometimes they're just munching on stuff, whatever deer munch on. Trees and brush that's hanging down, they're just munching. And I get to look out my window and see that. You see the squirrels romping around. We've got a lot of cardinals back there. Yesterday, as we were in the pool, I looked up, I saw 2 hawks flying by. But mornings, it's like it's their time, you know? Yeah, I do hear some cars going by, but I'm in an area that's capable of being very, very peaceful and very serene. And I just love that. I think my indoor cats love it too. Like, I'll get up in the morning and Rosie will be positioned in front of the window, and I know she's just watching the sun come up and she's bird watching, you know? Look at what mascara does for the look. Something I added into my skincare these last several days because my skin has gotten so dry from swimming in the pool. I've been putting those Thirst Burst drops on from e.l.f. because they're pretty heavy duty. Put that on as kind of like my last serum thing. And then after that goes my Vanity Cream SPF sunscreen stuff, which is pretty thick too. And then when I go out to the pool, it's Aveeno Baby SPF 50 all the way on my face. And you just won't burn with that stuff. Trying to flip my wrist. The lashes look better if I'll flip my darn wrist, but I just don't feel comfortable doing it. I might go on with like one more coat once that gets a chance to sit a bit, but I'm gonna take e.l.f. Lash Extender for the lowers. See that? Just a little fringe. I love Lash Extender. What's your favorite like quiet hobby? Like thing that you don't have to do. It's not part of a job. It's not part of like what you're doing on social media or whatever. It's just something you like to do just for you. Do you cross stitch? Do you knit? Do you paint? Is it something totally outside of art? I really like coloring. It's very handy for me because, you know, the girls will sit down and do it and then I can just jump in and do it too with them. I found when we were back in Mom and Dad's old house, just moving stuff out, going through my old room, I found this neat little container of cross stitch stuff that I had gotten into. I believe it's called cross stitch. Like, you used to be able to get a little kit and it looked like a burlap type of square that was this big, and then you had the pattern and they gave you just the threads that you needed, and like I had a little cardinal that I did that was perfectly completed and it was just on there. And then I had another couple things too and I thought it might be nice to do that again. I'm not okay with the way this eye ended up. Something clumped together. This is not normal for this mascara. Okay, that's a little better. I'm gonna try kind of a nude-ish lip today. I'm gonna take my Lasting Finish lip liner from Rimmel. This is the shade 90s Nude. And it's a little like deep and warm color. So I'm gonna put that on first. I'm actually finally starting to learn it's better to not talk while I do lip liner. Okay, that's all filled in kind of like lightly. I could have gone on with even more pressure on this one, but these last a decently long time. Then I'm going to take Lawless Forget the Filler in the shade Nudie, looking like a true nude gloss here. Giving a shine. I like the way these feel, if you don't get too much on. There's my look. I feel very monochromatic today. You know, the blush, muted, but a little toasty. That lip, eyes kind of soft. I like it. I like the way things turned out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and just listening to me ramble. These are really some of my favorite kinds of videos to do. Videos where it just feels sort of free. Thank you so much for letting me be part of your day. Thank you for taking valuable time out of your day to listen or watch. And yeah, I appreciate you being here. I'll see you guys soon. I love you. Bye.